Several people have been shot at a grocery store in Tucson, Arizona, and a spokesman for the Pima County Sheriff's Department says that among the victims, or included in the victims, are at least 12 people. They describe them as injured. They do not use the word wounded. The shooting reportedly took place around 10 a.m. local time. That would have been noon Eastern time. And now we have heard from the Tucson Citizens newspaper that among those who may have been wounded was Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, who is a Democrat with the House of Representatives. The reason this is noted is she had an event taking place at this grocery store, which is a Safeway in Tucson, Arizona. It was described as a congressperson on your corner kind of gathering. These are often held by people in Congress where they go back to meet with their constituents. What is notable here is that an event like that would have been posted. In fact, it was on the Congresswoman's website, and it was stated that this was her first Congress on Your Corner of the year, to be held Saturday, January 8th at the supermarket in northwest Tucson. So it appears that shots have been fired. According to the public information officer of the Pima County Sheriff's Department, 12 people have been injured, and that there have been people transported to the Northwest Medical Center in Tucson, Arizona. We do not have the conditions of any of those who have either been injured or who have been shot. We are continuing to get information into the CNN Center. But Dana Bash is joining us now on the telephone. And Dana, what do we know about the condition, if at all, whether the Congresswoman was wounded at this event?
Unfortunately, I don't have information about her condition right now. I just got off the phone with a Democratic congressional source, though, who did say that she was, in fact, shot, she being Gabrielle Giffords, Congresswoman from Arizona. And this source told me that, unfortunately, it sounds like these are preliminary reports, but it sounds like some of her staff might have been shot. You have been reporting, Marty, that she was doing a congressional event, so she did have staff at this event in Tucson. We do not know her condition right now, but I was told by this source who called me that it was, quote, pretty serious. Right. Again, preliminary reports, but we're waiting to get more information from her office and obviously from the authorities on the scene.
These kind of Congress on your corner events, these are pretty common, I would imagine. I mean, typically this is just where a congressperson goes back to their district and makes himself available to their constituents.
Exactly. Every member of Congress handles it in a different way, but most members of Congress make a point of going back to their district and taking questions and having conversations with their constituents about what's concerning them, what Congress is working on, sort of anything at all that's out there. Interesting that, Gabby Giffords, she is a Democrat from a pretty conservative district. She's from a border district in Arizona. She's just was reelected to her third term in an atmosphere where Democrats weren't reelected. So she was reelected. She's young. She's just 40 years old, and so obviously everybody is hoping and praying that she is okay. I can just tell you just a quick anecdote. I just happened to have a conversation with her in the hallway right off the House chamber yesterday, Marty, and she was just so relieved that the election was behind her, and she was telling me a story about how she and her husband actually went on a last-minute trip to Rome for Christmas, and she said that they were able to get in for midnight mass at the Vatican. So she was just elated about kind of where she was and what she was doing, and obviously she, like most members of the House, were finishing their votes and getting ready to head home to do what she did, which is to meet with their constituents.
I heard about 15 to 20 gunshots. Did not actually eyewitness it, but I have gotten a lot of information on what happened from people that did.
And what do you see happening there now?
Right now, you have multiple authorities here. They actually have 2 sheriff's officers going through the cars with assault rifles, just checking. And they still have the whole entire parking lot taped off, doing their investigation.
And what do we know of the shooter? Has that person been apprehended, or are they still on the loose?
From my understanding, they have not been apprehended from close sources with Tucson Police Department that I know. A total of, I believe, 15 wounded and possibly 6 dead unconfirmed.
You're saying that you have heard there are fatalities, but you have not seen and cannot confirm there are fatalities.
I see 2 bodies laying on the sidewalk in front of the Safeway. Other than that, I can't see much further than that. They have it blocked off.
All right. That would seem to be confirmation that people have been killed. We'll wait to get further confirmation on that one, specifically from law enforcement. What did you hear? And when you talked to witnesses afterwards, what do you know about what happened?
From my understanding, what I first heard, I heard about 15 to 20 gunshots in the parking lot. I came outside immediately and did not see a vehicle or any people fleeing. I just saw people running, screaming towards the where the shooting happened. Everyone screaming that it was Gabrielle Giffords. I did see them take her away on a stretcher to the life flight. She was moving from what I saw with my own eyes. And right now, I just seen a bunch of people leaving on stretchers and life flights flying out of here at the moment.
And I imagine that people there, including perhaps yourself, are in a state of shock.
Yes, from what I'm being told from people that had seen it, that she was shot point blank in the head by the shooter. And then after that, basically all chaos broke loose. There was some bullets that went through the window into the Safeway that I can see. How many people were hurt, I have no idea.
All right, stay with me, Jason. We are talking to Jason Picow, and these are photographs that Jason has taken that he has supplied here to CNN. And let me remind the audience what it is we are looking at. There has been a shooting at a Safeway grocery store in Tucson, Arizona. The Pima County Sheriff's Department is acknowledging that 12 people were injured. Now, Jason, you're saying that you actually can see that there are bodies on site, which would indicate, of course, that there are fatalities. We do not know the exact number of how many have been wounded, and we do not know anything about those that may have been killed. But we do know that, you say, Jason, 15 to 20 shots were fired?
Correct.
And this was just bang, 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 or was it drawn out over some time?
No, it was consistent. It was consistently 15 to 20 all at once.
And you say that you don't believe that the shooter has been taken into custody, and I'm just wondering what gives you that indication.
The only indication that I'm going off of there is the fact that they're still searching cars here in the parking lot, and also my source that knows the Tucson Police Department over here saying that they have not apprehended a suspect.
And the description you gave us regarding the Congresswoman and the shooter firing point blank. First of all, do we know was the shooter male or female or anything about them?
I don't know anything about them.
Okay. And the fact that this was point blank, where did you hear that from and how do you know?
I heard it from the source that has talked to a Tucson police officer saying that she was shot point blank in the head.
All right. And then you say that Life Flight, which is a emergency medical evacuation helicopter, was brought into the scene?
There was 3 of them total.
Okay. And that is a clear indication anytime you come to a scene of trauma, when you have Life Flight, that you have had serious injuries and life-threatening injuries that have occurred. In this parking lot where you took those photographs, had people taken shelter? Had people run? I mean, there must have been a large crowd there, given the fact that Saturday morning and going to the grocery store is a pretty common thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. There was, the minute that I stepped out of my building, there were people actually sprinting right in front of me, running from where the shooting happened, screaming that Gabrielle Giffords had been shot. And where is everyone now? Have they been sequestered? I mean, are people being held? Are buildings being evacuated? Do we know anything about that? Actually, the entire complex has been shut down.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Alex Witt here at MSNBC World Headquarters, 37 past the hour. We are cutting into our program with some breaking news. We're being told by various sources, both NPR as well as a local Tucson newspaper, that Arizona Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords has been shot. We do not know the circumstances and details of how she was shot. We were told, however, according to this one resource at NPR and a local Tucson newspaper, that she was holding a public event in Tucson outside of a grocery store there. This is according to Arizona Public Media. Giffords has been reelected to her third term in just November. She was hosting her first Congress on Your Corner event. It happened at the Safeway in northwest Tucson. Apparently, according to these reports that NBC News has yet to confirm, a gunman ran up to her and started shooting. This is according to a news director from the Arizona Public Media. We're also told at least 5 other people, including members of her own staff, have been hurt. Giffords has been transported to University Medical Center in Tucson. Her condition is not immediately known. We have heard erroneous reports yet of the location of her shooting, but we are going to save that until I get confirmation from NBC News. She was talking to a couple, apparently, when the man ran up, firing rather indiscriminately, and then took off. We're getting this again from the Arizona Public Media. There are other witnesses who are coming forward. Apparently, the person who did the shooting was tackled by a bystander and then taken into custody.
And this is a Fox News alert. We're still waiting to get more confirmation about this so we can independently confirm it. But according to NPR, U.S. Representative Gabrielle Giffords of Arizona was shot outside a grocery store in Tucson while holding a public event there, according to Arizona Public Media, as well as NPR reporting this. But we are still waiting to get some independent confirmation on this. Giffords, who was reelected to her third term in November, was hosting her first Congress on Your Corner event at the Safeway in northwest Tucson when a gunman ran up and started shooting. At least 5 other people, according to this report, including members of her staff, were hurt. And we are also getting information that Giffords was transported to University Medical Center in Tucson. Her condition was not immediately known. Again, we are trying to get independent confirmation of this. Giffords was talking to a couple when a man ran up to her, firing indiscriminately, and then ran off. He was later tackled by a bystander. More details are following. We are following this story, and we'll bring you all the latest developments as we get them.
We are following a developing story, and it comes to us out of Tucson, Arizona this afternoon, where we have confirmed reports that Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, you see her there up on the screen, a Democrat of Tucson, has been shot outside an event at a Tucson supermarket. It's unclear what her condition is, but the reports are that the shooting took place a short time ago during an event called Congress on Your Corner. That's a bystander approached her and several other people who were in the area and started firing. We do know that in addition to the Congresswoman, there were several others shot, and of course we don't know whether they were members of her staff, whether they were simply bystanders at the supermarket as well. But what we do know this afternoon is that Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, a Democrat of the 8th District of Arizona, that is in Tucson, Arizona, has been shot, taken to the hospital. We are unsure what her condition is at this hour. I do want to turn to my colleague David Curley in Washington, who has reported on the Congresswoman and her husband before, because her husband is very involved with NASA. And in fact, David, as you point out, he was scheduled to be on the next shuttle mission.
He is still scheduled to be the commander of the next shuttle mission, which is to be the last shuttle mission set to go up in April. His name is Mark Kelly. He has a twin brother who is up in space right now. Scott Kelly is the commander of the space station right now. There was a chance that these two men were going to be the twins, the first blood relatives in space together. Mark Kelly and Scott Kelly, great guys. Spent some time with them down at NASA last year, and he's been married to the Congresswoman for a while now, so he has to be having a very difficult time at this point. No word on whether he has learned about this or whether or not he was in Arizona at the time.
David Curley, yes, in Washington, thank you. And again, what we can confirm is Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, a Democrat of Tucson, Arizona, shot while holding an event outside a supermarket in Tucson. Several others also shot, and again, their conditions unknown at this point. This is a story we'll continue to follow here, and we'll have a complete wrap-up tonight on World News Saturday. I'm David Muir in New York. We'll continue to follow this on the broadcast and at abcnews.com.